What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Save Point Podcast, episode 33. I do believe we are back. This is an odd. I feel like I don't know how to start this. It's just been so long. I'm Alex. This is Sway, as we always do. Boy, it's honestly good to be back. It's good to talk to him.
So good.
We were talking
So
behind the
good.
scenes of just being able to kind of chat. So, welcome welcome all to the live stream. People that come live, people that come afterwards. We could say it in the beginning, but we super appreciate your support. We heard people saying, they wanted the show live, and we always had a blast, doing it live. We much prefer to do the show live. I think it's going to be quite difficult. We don't need to get specific, but we're going to try to make it work as much as we can. So, Sway, what in God's name has been going on, man? It's good to see you. It's good to hear from you. And we talked behind the scenes, but what's going on?
Oh man, it's been like a seismic shift after vacation. Obviously with the court case, everything like the Microsoft court case and stuff like that. But for gaming wise, I have been playing AEW Fight Forever. I am approaching 100 hours on there. I literally only have one more trophy to unlock on PC. I do have it on PS5 as well, but I haven't started too much on there yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much waiting for Starfield and Mortal Kombat. Loving everything that I'm seeing from those two games. Even though Starfield is being a little stingy with the amount of stuff they're releasing. And for those that don't know, I have a new job. So my schedule is different. Yeah. So that is the reason why, but we're going to make this work.
Yeah. Without getting too into it, my structure has also changed a bit. But we're gonna power through it, and we're gonna see. Well, honestly, it's gonna be just almost a week-to-week basis, so we're really just gonna have to figure out when we can do it. But yeah, neither of us want to end it. We truly believe like we have something here. I've always respected Sway as a guy who I was waiting for somebody like Sway to like enter the picture of just a guy who's honestly just a real great guy, nice guy. We can talk back and forth, and he knows his stuff, right? Like that's what I think we both are to each other. So we definitely don't want to stop this, and we'll figure it out. But oh man, I'm not going to go through the list because if we're going from the last time that we talked to now, I've played, because of the third channel, Back to the Past. I mean, I rifle. That's all I do. Like at night, I play an old game or I play a new game to then play an old game. Like I've truly, honestly played maybe 15 games in the past, month and a half. The Twisted Metals. I actually got a game for review that I'll tell you, Sway, afterwards, but got a game for review in the next couple weeks. The Expanse, Spider-Man, Yakuza, like just so many things. But what do you want to talk about? I mean, we were together when Spider-Man happened. We went through June. Mm-hmm. I know we were talking right before we kind of hit live of, the Microsoft case gave us stuff. It's given me stuff to talk about with like the old Transformers games, right? War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, the Switch 2, but there's really not a lot like going on. Like today's news was Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, like it's locked in, and there's the Scream news. I mean, that's up my alley, but not really up for the this show. What's been going on?
I'm off for some Scream news here.
Huh?
I'm off for some Scream news here.
Yeah, switching directors and all sorts of stuff. Yes. I know Zillion had said there was a lot of news. It started mid-sentence again. Great. Mando season 4 may become a movie. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 coming to Game Pass. That is true. Okay, so there was a little bit. I wouldn't call them like seismic kind of news stories of today. Oh, there was a little bit. Well, let me ask you, Sway, because it's been a while, and we're into somewhat different games from time to time. Have you what's your knowledge on Baldur's Gate? Because I jumped in like 2.5-3 weeks ago. I started to kind of watch videos of it, and I'm buying the game tonight to pre-order it because it comes out tomorrow. I was not into it, no joke, when we broke, for the break. I couldn't care less, but now I'm like, that's going to be my game until Starfield. So how do you feel? Have you heard of it? Have you seen any of it?
I was kind of similar to Baldur's Gate, and the more that I've seen from it, it's piqued my interest. I'm waiting till it comes out because I actually have a friend that's getting it.
Okay.
So I'm going to literally join a party with him, watch him play it, and then like go from there. I'm like, okay, like I'm sold, or like I
Yeah.
might wait, but that's what I'm waiting for.
It seems like a blast. Big
Yeah.
fantasy, RPG, like like a real RPG of the customization and playing it with other people. I think on PlayStation, because it comes on PC first, right? And PlayStation the same day as Starfield. And I think on PlayStation it's actually split screen co-op, which is
Mhm.
nuts. I didn't know that until maybe like 3-4 nights ago. So I'm getting on PC just to play it, a month early, and I can't for Baldur's Gate and Starfield to release the same day. That's not fair. Like that's got to be some sort of joke that they had planned, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure, they're
Um,
ribbing us. I
yeah.
think also another game that snuck up on us that now the same experience you have with that, I have with Armor Core.
Ooh, yes. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Armor Core is one that I was like looking at, and I was like, okay, like I do like mech suit games. I do
Yeah.
like games like those. I am a Gundam fan. But I just never. It's been a while since like I've tackled the Gundam type style. So I'm
Yeah.
just like like it looks interesting though. And then like I seen gameplay like a week or two ago, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
getting
Well, yeah.
it.
There's talk on like the visuals and stuff, and yeah, it's nothing. It's very much from software. Like they reuse assets, and the engine doesn't make too much progress over time. But like the game looks like a blast. It looks different. It really does look like a from soft, like a Souls
Yes.
like game, just with these big and just more action kind of going on, or more things happening at once. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm with you. Like I had played one Armored Core game when I was a kid on PC. I
Mm-hmm.
hated it because I think it was too hard for like whatever age I was. But obviously we know from software, and we know what they've kind of been through and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, after the newest gameplay, it looks sweet. The only
It
issue, of
looks so.
course, is what a week and a half later is Starfield.
Yes.
You know, that's a big one.
Oh.
What do you think? So I saw, not to throw any shade. I mean, he's a much bigger creator, so I'm not too afraid. Like Dreamcast guy, I saw one of
Mhm.
his tweets about, is anybody really talking about Starfield? Because in his circle, he doesn't see anybody, and it's like, well, that's your circle. You look outside your circle. I think. What do you think? Like, do you sense excitement beyond us? I think there's plenty of people already.
So maybe I don't know, because you said it. You said the key word there. A lot of people on social media forget that your followers are most likely people you like, that like similar things that you like.
Yeah.
Also, the platform you're on is going to tailor
Right.
the stuff from non-followers that you see to what your preferences are.
Yeah.
So it's same thing with YouTube. And so like when I go on YouTube, in my recommendations, I have tons of creators with Starfield videos, ones
Yeah.
that I have probably seen, but maybe not seen this specific video from them,
Right.
and some from other creators that I've never watched. And same thing with Twitter. I do see people on Twitter talking about Starfield a lot. In fact, some of the publications, even though they have nothing to talk about, will randomly mention Starfield. It's not like nobody's talking about it. It's just like your circle has
Right.
to, and you could say the same thing about Xbox. Xbox hasn't come out with too much for a very long time, but you'd be surprised the amount of people that talk about Xbox
Right.
if you're in the right circle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a point of view thing.
Yeah.
But I did see that, and I was kind of,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say like super shocked, because his reaction over the whole process of the deal was also
Oh, yeah, there's
a
plenty to
little,
say about him in general.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I kind of was expecting that, like something similar. So I'm not shocked, but like I didn't also think like somebody would say like I haven't seen no one talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I feel
it's
like it's
quite divisive.
right. Yeah, I'm as always. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be big. I think you'll see it with the early access. I mean, really, it's waves. As this month goes, you think like people should start to get some codes early. This is a game that's been delayed multiple times. It needs to be their big thing. I think everybody knows that, including them. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave out access to this thing to reviewers and stuff. Maybe in the next like 2.5-3 weeks, people are getting it. That way they can put in like 70-80 hours before the game releases. And Xbox is always actually pretty good with that kind of back and forth with
Yep.
creators as well as reviewers. So yeah, I think as it goes, and it's going to be one thing after the other. You know, Mortal Kombat has had a very steady supply of trailers and characters, and yeah, they've kept up. They've had lots of stuff. You know,
Trickling in, it feels like daily at this point.
I'm getting
So
ready because I have on my calendar. I try to plan like a month in advance for my third channel, and I'm gonna go through some of the. I'm gonna take like a tour through Mortal Kombat's like history, and I've played some, but I haven't played all, and it's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna play the worst Mortal Kombat game, what people consider the worst, versus DC, a couple other ones. So I'm freaking pumped to get into Mortal Kombat.
I'm pumped to watch that.
I'm excited.
Also, there is another creeper game that is like, I'm surprised. This one I have not seen that much there talked about, but that's all we were talking about a few months ago, which was Chainsaw Massacre on the 18th.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, but Starfield is just sucking everything up. They're like Mortal Kombat, Armored Core. Like,
I think Baldur's Gate too. Baldur's Gate's pretty big.
Baldur's Gate, yeah, like it's just
Texas Chainsaw is it's fallen a bit. I think again in the right circles. Like I've done a few videos the last few weeks, and they've actually done really well. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of player base it has. But it's very like niched, like it's very specific. But with Game
that audience is coming day one.
Yeah, and it comes out on Game Pass too. So I think hopefully it's healthy. Which I just want to quickly say hi to everybody. I know everybody was saying hi, welcome back, hello, good to see you all. Honestly, we really mean it. We're doing good. Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty are codenamed Apple Pie 1 and 2. Oh my. Interesting. In order to make an Apple Pie, you first must create a universe. Armored Core looks really fascinating. Yeah. 50 to 60 hours, they said too. I know someone who's been a long time Armored Core fan. Needless to say, it was his time to shine. Yeah, I mean, if you've been like part of the Armored Core movement with nothing to talk about for was the last game 2012 maybe? So it's like been 11 years. I respect that person. You know, the Armored Core channel on YouTube. Which I don't think there is anybody who actually does that, but wallet pain incoming. Yeah. Game Pass is going to help. Game Pass is going to be your best friend, right? I keep saying is Texas Chainsaw is Game Pass. Starfield, obviously. Lies of P, City Skylines, Payday 3. That's 5. October. I mean, that's kind of it. All right. I mean, like 5 out of like 12 is not too bad. You know what I mean? It's not awful. So Game Pass is going to be our best friend. I truly believe that. Yeah, I'm going to do probably as soon as this stream is over, I'm going to do a video on the Scream news. I just, it's been a busy day. PlayStation guy. Yeah. Look, not to throw shit, a lot of people on YouTube do seem like genuinely good people. I've watched his stuff for actually a little while, like 2 or so years. He seems like a good guy. I think he chose to do the console wars thing. I think he actively, you know what I mean? Like he picked PlayStation. He has the slant. I just don't like it when people aren't, and not just him, anybody. I've always said this, right? With console warriors, I would respect you more if at least you're aware that you're a hypocrite, right? Like when you, like a lot of these people don't seem to know that their stuff applies to one thing, but it doesn't apply to, you know what I mean? MBG, all those kind of people. Like, I don't know, if you're gonna pretend like you're in the middle, but clearly you're not, why pretend? Just say it. I prefer this, death to the other one. Like, just go all in. You know what I mean? Truly.
And with console wars, the other thing that kind of gets me is that you can give and take. I think a lot more people will respect it more. I think that they feel like sometimes they have to say certain things, but the reality of the situation is that every situation can't get a black and white answer because there's gray. So you can't, sometimes you're going to lose a point. Sometimes you're going to win a point. Yeah. They refuse to back down on both sides, but right now it's PlayStation just, I don't know, man. Ever since this case, it's not a good, it is not a good time right now. The tables have, I mean, I don't think any of us had this on our bingo card, but the tables have completely shifted now. So it is.
I think the
It's
early
kind of
talk of them was
weird.
live service, like a year ago when they were doing like
Mhm.
presentations to investors and stuff. I think that was like a big red flag that a lot of people, PlayStation defenders and also not PlayStation defenders, I think people still said, well, maybe they're not serious about, the whole like in 3 years they were going to do like 50-50, right? 50% spending on live service, 50 not. And that is
Mhm.
a terrible idea. And I think
Terrible.
when they said that a year ago, we were like, well, maybe they're kidding, right? Like, there's no way they can be, but it's like, no, they're serious. They're very
Them
serious.
when they bought Bungie, that is when I was like, yeah, because I don't think that they're just getting Bungie just to make games for them. I think that they're getting them to understand how live service even works.
Yeah,
So that Bungie purchase was like, yeah.
yeah,
The tables are, because Microsoft is already, they've been consumer friendly for a while. This is gonna,
yeah,
people don't like it. People don't like it.
yeah. Um, Starfield is huge hype mainly because people are all holding their breath with how much is in the balance with its release. That's true.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of feel that, right? Like this is a make or break. If Starfield comes out and it's a disaster, I don't even like. Obviously, Xbox doesn't close, but I think you take a hard look. It's well, okay. I wanted to say it. I think you take a hard look at Phil Spencer, but he's also done
Mhm.
so much good for them. And a lot of things, a lot of their successes are because of him. But then you look at like, well, how did Redfall happen? Say Starfield is just as bad. Who do you blame? You're not going to fire Todd Howard. Do you look at Phil Spencer and say management needs to, But yet again, I don't want to get too far into that, right? Because honestly, I feel like that's not going to happen. I think Starfield's going to be good, but you
Yeah.
never know. You never fully know, you know.
I think see, Phil Spencer, I think I
I think I can
personally
play a game with
would,
him.
yes. And I think that just watching them, I know that a lot of it's foreign to a lot of people, but like just hearing what is actually going on, that's the type of leader that I would want in a company like that. That when stuff is not going good and they have failed, and they're able to own that and say it, even if it's not the most marketable thing to do while you're still trying to sell consoles, while you're still trying to sell games, while you're still, the fact that you can go out there, that means that how many CEOs do we see where it's like they never acknowledge, do you know there's a problem, are you aware? We are aware that he's aware with
Right.
it versus us being aware because we're talking about it. It's like it's no way they don't hear it, they have to know. We
Yeah.
know he knows.
Yeah.
So I like the freedom that he gives these studios. Now that hasn't produced 100% things out the gate, but like things like Hi-Fi Rush,
Yes.
he's had some wins. So that's why I'm like, it's not total failure. I don't even view Starfield failing as a make or break for them because of the acquisition that they just got. And Bethesda is still Bethesda.
Yeah.
So and they still got Skyrim up their sleeve. But in the immediate future, this would be a heavy blow to him, but this wouldn't be the end. I don't even think this would be an end for him because him getting this acquisition through in its own right solidifies his
Yeah.
place
He'll
there
be around a
anyway.
bit.
Yeah, he's going to be around a bit no matter what. So
Yeah.
I kind of think that right now for them, Starfield went from had to be a success to in the immediate future, this has to be a success, but in the grand scheme of things, this is just something that they really want to succeed, but it's not a need anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Do you plan on doing more pirate stuff? Yeah, from time to time. It's tough, honestly. If it's not like a Johnny Depp rumor, to be honest, it just doesn't do well. Like it's
It's not
almost not worth.
pirates.
Yeah, then it's not worth making. So I hope with the strikes, like when they end, if we can get something pirates related, which there was a lot of news on the script with Jerry Bruckheimer and stuff. So trust me, if there's a pirates movie releasing, I would cover it much like I've done Scream with like theories,
Mm-hmm.
and so there'll be plenty of stuff. Except for Starfield, but I want to see a bit more. Yep, that's fair.
Same.
I'm sure you will in August. Was there a talk about with Pirates? Good point. I'm replaying MK11 right now. Yep, MK11's on my list. It's definitely one that I will be. I that one I have physically as well. Sway, how do you feel about the whole thing? Oh yes, the Red Dead came out of nowhere when we were gone.
Yes.
All right, where are you on that?
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
It is very. I am very excited to dabble back into that world. I did well, not recently, but I replayed the first one right before the second one came out.
Okay.
So it was I haven't played since. Probably I was getting an urge to, but now I'm not. I'm gonna
Yeah.
wait for this.
Yeah.
Uh so I am very excited. I love the Red Dead Redemption series, and I really cannot wait. I don't know if it's been said, but like, is Undead the
The rumor is it would be part of it. So
okay?
it better be. It better be.
It better be.
You don't get to remaster Red Dead and not have
Yeah,
arguably top 5 DLC ever created as part of it.
exactly. That's what I'm wondering. Like, I didn't see anything about it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I haven't had time to like really dive in and like just go through it, just see like, okay, what's the rumor mill here? Because
Yeah.
everything else otherwise has been soaking up my time. Spider-Man, Starfield, like
Yeah.
work, AEW.
Yeah. And then throw Red Dead into a packed October or November or something insane, you know.
Yes. Assassin's
Definitely
Creed is
getting
still coming
more
out.
MK1 stuff at Evo. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they show up. They show up anywhere. It literally doesn't matter where. Controversies get views, unfortunately. Yeah. I've said
Yeah.
that. I mean, like, if I wanted to help the stagnant channels that they've been over the last like 2 months, I should just pick a side because I feel like I'd get the wrong group. I'd get people that I don't really want, but I think I'd grow, to be honest, if I just picked one. And I'm pretty sure that is what Dreamcast guy did, because he didn't start like that. He grew and then he chose a side. But our Luniverse, hello. I don't know if this is the right place to review Zootopia, but I will say I actually thought, what did I see? Oh, Bolt. My friend was playing Bolt the game, and I remembered Epic because he would always ask about Bolt. I don't have much to say about Zootopia. Console wars are stupid. At the end of the day, we're all just gamers. Who cares what we play on? True. Some do, though.
Much agreed. Much agreed.
Anyone interested in the Yuri Peter story in Spider-Man except for me, since she's kind of a criminal now? Yeah, that's not really being talked about. And I wonder, how much do you think that'll be like, you don't have to give me like a percentage, but do you think that'll be like a somewhat big thing, or do you think it's going to be like really small? I feel like it's only going to be one of the two. Like, it'll be a really big part of the story that they haven't focused on, the Wraith Yuri kind of thing, or it'll be like one side mission, one kind of drop of a dialogue they mention her. What do you think it would be?
So traditionally, specifically with superhero games, but I noticed like with any game that has a continuation to it,
Yeah.
very rarely, unless like it's been set up for it, does side characters have like giant roles in the next game. And her storyline was kind of pushed off to the side. Even in the DLC, it was pushed off to the side. And I don't think that
It kind of just, like, replaying it like 1 week ago, it kind of just happens. Like,
yeah.
her evil turn and leaving the clues for him, and that's a side mission. You don't even have to do it.
Mhm.
When you find all the evidence.
It feels heavy. It feels
Yeah.
impactful. They got over across like this feels like a big deal. But
yeah.
when you like go back and just look at how it happened, it's just like it was kind of off to the side. It was just beautifully done. And I think that it's not gonna be, as far as like the events of the game as a whole, it's not gonna play hardly. I don't think it's gonna play hardly anything into the main story.
Yeah.
Other
Do you
than
think it could be
Craven wanting to
DLC?
hunt her.
Do you think it could be like a DLC whole arc like they did with, I mean, Black Cat was a whole one. Hammerhead was a whole, with two, basically, was Hammerhead.
I think honestly, I think, see, the DLC scares me because the
Yeah.
first one, we knew about the season pass. We knew about everything before the console. So we knew everything. There's no season pass announced with the collector's edition, correct?
Right.
So
No,
and I remember the release to that perfectly because the game came out in September. First DLC came out by October. Second one November. We finished by December. So we have not gotten anything. I don't even know
tells
how
me they haven't
DLC
started.
exactly.
It'd be like a year from now, as you'd get maybe one big or a director's cut where you get a 1 10-hour. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing 3 chapters this time. I think it'd be. I do
Just
think we'll get DLC though. I'm going to do a video on that eventually. I 100% think they'll do DLC.
100.
Yeah.
I just think that her storyline specifically is going to probably either be like something that's left open-ended. We're going to address her, we're going to handle her, but I don't think that it's going to like necessarily conclude. But I also don't think, like I said, like it's going to be something impactful. So I'm going to go with small for now. It's totally different than say like Norman, who has a giant presence over the story, and they're going to hopefully build. I really hope they don't use Green Goblin in this game. I want this to be as personal as possible.
That's what I was, we were talking about it before we went live, and playing 2018, it's like they jump a lot. And I made the video yesterday. It's definitely not as good as I remember it being, specifically even the story. There's a lot. I really don't like when you would do a mission and then he's like, better go patrol, and you have to like in game you had to wait for the next. I hate when games do that, but even just the structure of it, it kind of is all over the place. And but a big thing that's kind of cool for like theories is, like Doc Ock. And I remember like, I saw a clip of the trailer. Remember the raft mission, and it made it look like it was Green Goblin when he's crawling after he's hurt, and it like raises up and it makes him kind of look up as if it's, but it's obviously it's Doc Ock. So they did a pretty okay job hiding it. And although like you see the tentacles and like the mechanical arm and stuff early on in 2018, there's no huge indication that Doc Ock is going to be the villain by the end of the game. You think it's going to be Mr. Negative, right? So I wonder if Kraven and Venom are not the only two. If there's a third big bad that's sprinkled, and Norman would be, you know what I mean? Like he'd be in it, and then all of a sudden he does this, Harry dies, or whatever, he gets the suit, and he's like the final third of the game. I wouldn't really be shocked because that's what they did in the first game. That's literally what, you know what I mean?
It depends on I have a few different takes on what they could do here, because I actually agree with that 100%. I think that Venom and Harry are a red herring. The two things that they're going to do is it's going to be kind of like a who done it, right? It could go who is Venom?
Yeah.
Like the last Venom we see. Who is that?
Yeah.
They're going to play with that because the symbiote can go from person to person to person to person. I don't think that is Peter, because Peter's build never changes. I think it's going to be someone different. I am 50-50 on if it's Harry. They said it's not Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're lying. We don't know if they're putting the Arkham Knight or not. We got to wait to see. But it could either, so it's going to bounce around. That's going to be a factor. It can be a factor as far as like, oh, you will never expect who gets the suit by the end of the game. Or there's some potential for people that we're not seeing, like Ned Leeds, for example, who is Hobgoblin, who ends up getting his gear out of the Green Goblins. So we could see that, and they could maybe speed it up and have him actually be a thing before Green Goblin.
Right.
Or you could, it's so many different ways you could possibly take it. I think they got something up their sleeve. I think that there's something that we're not seeing, or they're going to do something with a character that we know, but it's not traditionally done with that character.
Right.
And that's what, and also we got to remember that Doc Ock is still a factor because he's in the raft. Mr. Negative is out in the world free. So we don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Not to mention Harry, for example, they can go to Spider-Man 3 right and make him the Hobgoblin. So
they got a lot. I think that's a good point. I think if it is like a murder mystery, like a whodunit, if that's the theme throughout, and I think we'll be able to tell as we play the game, if that is the whole theme, then that's the ending too. If it gets resolved quickly, then there is something else. Then there's something that they haven't shown or talked, which would be like the Doc Ock thing equivalent, right? So I get excited when I think about that, because again, I don't think it makes for the great, and I've always said that. I said it to Evan, because Evan really loves the story, and I respect that. But I've always said I don't think the story of 2018 is as good as people say. I think it's good, but I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. I don't think it was the best story of that year. I don't think, you know, I mean, like I really, it had a lot of issues, and replaying it last week, yeah, it's paced the pacing is bad, is really all over the place. So I hope that's
what I say. It is the best Spider-Man game that a story is told. That's always what I've done. Stacking it up to other games though, I like stacking it up to Arkham. And y'all know how I feel about Spider-Man. But stacking it up to the Arkham stories, I can't necessarily put 2018 over City per se.
Right. I think
those games were geniuses at detail. And I would say it's the best Spider-Man story a Spider-Man game has ever told. Even the current day, I did like it more than Miles. But Miles is also significantly shorter.
Oh yeah, I'm playing that back right now.
So there we go. There's asterisks there, but I still enjoyed 2018 more. As far as what they told.
Playing like the 2002 Spider-Man game, it's like we've come a long way. Even the edges of time and shattered dimensions, like this game laps them over and over. But yeah, if you stack it up against some of the best story games of all time, it's not up there. But it doesn't need, granted, right? It doesn't need to be. So yeah. You think we'll ever get a Days Gone 2? Potentially, because I feel like they could let them do it after whatever they're working on now. I believe that's possible. Phil Spencer kicks himself over and over on podcasts, and it's getting a little old. It's great, your mistakes, but now fix them. Coming from a lifelong Xbox fan. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Scotty Fitness, what's going on, buddy? I'm trying to make content, so waiting for sales or used copies of new games isn't going to work, unfortunately. Yeah, usually I just get games after a while, but this year everything's just at once. Oh, trust me. Trust me, I know the struggles of I'm trying to get old games now because I'm trying to get everything physical. Even if I do something where like it starts with an E and you do stuff online with games, even if I do that, I still want the game physically with it, So I'm trying to get old games. Some of them are insanely expensive, and then also new games, you're not going to get those on sale. At least the old games are a little cheaper,
Team physical.
Yeah. Oh, Sway, before I just remembered what I put as the thumbnail of the, I just did it just to do it, but have you, did you watch all of Twisted Metal? You watched a few episodes, didn't you?
Oh, I finished that thing the day, the first day that they're released. I didn't finish it that day. I finished it the next day. So the day after it released, and oh my God, I did not expect to like that show as much as I did.
I kind of like it more than The Last of Us, and I'm not afraid anymore to say it because
I'm not afraid to say it either.
Yeah, because The Last of Us, I kept comparing to the game, and I think that's a testament to the game, how good it is, and you're trying to grade it and say, can the show match the game? But that's so in my head the whole time. With Twisted Metal, it was like, and again, like I had no expectations, whereas The Last of Us, you're trying to match the game. For Twisted Metal is like go crazy, and they did, and it's so good. And yeah, I think I had more fun for sure. I don't know if the quality, but I had way more fun with Twisted Metal than I did The Last of Us.
Not to mention when it comes to like holding up to like what the essence of the gameplay was, you got that.
Yeah,
you absolutely got it.
That 10th episode when they did the car battle was epic.
Oh yeah, and if they get a second season, they're going to go above and beyond for it. They're going for it. Sweet Tooth was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh my God. All the characters were, though. I didn't, honestly, coming into it, I didn't know, how Anthony Mackie was going to do. I didn't know the story that they were going to tell, but they did have a lot of room to tell it because of the type of game that Twisted Metal was. Yeah. So you can play a little bit fast and loose with it, but they showed a lot of respect to the game that along with the comedy hitting.
I said the trailer, you need to fire the trailer people because the trailers they weren't the best jokes, but they also just kind of gave the wrong, because the thing is like there is a lot of jokes and it is pretty funny, but it's like his car,
yes,
when he it's actually emotional, and it's like they did not convey that through the trailers, that it was going to be more than just a comedy, and it's much more than just a comedy.
Much more. I
Yes,
said it's more serious more than it is comedy. Like the jokes
I
are,
think so.
yes, they're cracked a lot. Like they just keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. But the story beats are like very, very serious. And even the character, he's not
Quiet,
necessarily
really a lot, very.
yeah,
She can do everything. She's got the emotion. She's
everything,
got jokes. Yeah,
everything. And John Doe, he's just he's he he's not in tune with the world because of the way that he's grown up. So
yeah,
he has a more optimistic outlook because it's all he knows. So it's regular news to him.
yeah,
So when he, starts hanging around quiet more, he's a little bit more grounded. Like
yeah.
it took so many different turns, not just like plot wise, but like character development wise that
Oh,
I did
like
not
Sweet
expect it to
Tooth
be.
and Stu, the character arc is like that's a legit side story that they told within the show, and they
Yeah,
and I love Stu. Stu has got to be up there. What a great character. Yeah, I love that. Like, and I told my wife because she doesn't care about Twisted Metal, and we watched The Last of Us together, but Twisted Metal all coming out at once, right? I was like, well, do you mind? Because I thought I knew she would say it. I was like, well, am I going to watch it by myself? Do you want to watch it? She said no. I watched all 10 episodes. Like I finished by like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I texted her at work. And I was like, I think you would have legit, because it's not really like you don't need to care about the games at all. I think it's
game.
just a good show, like flat out good show. So I think she would have really, I think she would have, I'm going to try to convince her maybe like Christmas when there's downtime. It's like, I'll watch it again with you. Like, let's watch it because I think she'd like it.
She'd love it. And I group watched it with a friend, and we were laughing the entire time. The soundtrack
Yes.
is glorious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Oh my
production
god.
is good. Easter eggs, the ending, the 10th episode, I think is extremely good. How they get everybody kind of in their starting positions for the next season. Like, and then just the story. It's much deeper than you think it is. Like,
Much deeper.
they
If you
freaking,
have not seen it,
yeah, watch it. I mean, at this point,
watch it.
and I feel like it's got very good word of mouth, and people are watching it that otherwise wouldn't have. And I just,
Mhm.
I hope it gets a season 2. How do I feel about eggnog? I actually hate eggnog. I am a big Christmas guy, but I don't like eggnog. Nope. Hot chocolate.
I love hot chocolate. I don't love eggnog, but I do like it. It's something that I like to drink at least once or twice every year. But I will get sick of it very quickly.
Okay. All right. There you go. Nicola, what's up, buddy? With Red Dead and Oblivion, we still have zero idea if it's a remake or remaster. Yep. Oblivion really needs a remake. Yes. Yeah, I think Red Dead can settle for a remaster. Oblivion needs the remake.
Needs a remake.
I agree. Undead remaster would be so cool. It would. Why did nobody tell me that Assassin's Creed and Alan Wake were both getting TV shows? I forget. I totally forgot about Alan Wake, but I remember from time to time that Assassin's Creed. But you know what's funny? Alan Wake is Alan Wake is a chapter book / like show. Like that's what it is already.
That's how the games are. Yep.
It should work actually. Like if anything's gonna work, it's already kind of set up like that. But Grand Theft Auto 4. Now, somebody either sent me this tweet or I saw it just in my recommended. There was a rumor from about 2 years ago, maybe less, that talked about a Red Dead remaster and also talked about GTA 4 remaster, but GTA 4 would happen after GTA 6. And now the Red Dead thing seems to be true, so I'm going to believe that rumor from years ago. So I do think it would be Red Dead, GTA 6, GTA 4 in that order, which would be sweet, especially the DLC for GTA.
It'll be great to go back and visit Nico Bellic.
Yeah, that's my favorite one is GTA 4. That was a good impression too. Dude, Bull is such a throwback. It is. Discussion films just put. Yep, I saw. I'll be covering it. Which do you think is better? Oh, there you go. And I think this was a while ago. Timeline. Which do you think is better, Arkham City or Spy? I think Arkham City. I think I'd still say Arkham City. I think 2018 is better than at least 2 of the Arkham games, maybe 3. But Yeah.
I think story wise, Arkham takes it no problem. I think gameplay wise, just because Spider-Man is when it came out, because Arkham Knight figured it out real quick. Arkham Knight is where I would say gameplay versus Spider-Man. It might have Spider-Man beat, but
Yeah.
story wise, Arkham City's much better.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on MK1? You want to take this?
I am okay, so I'm conflicted with MK1. I love what I'm seeing from MK1. From a gameplay perspective, there are differences, but there is visually and gameplay perspective, it is like a continuation of MK11. And there are a couple of gripes that I have with MK11. Like it felt slow. But this is I'm not the only one to make this criticism. There has been in the FGC quite a bit of it being talked about. So it does feel like not necessarily the same mode, but there has been just slight tweaks to the gameplay. Obviously, there's the cameo system. The combos are a lot more fast and loose, so you can do a lot more with them. But it just feels like MK11 again. And although I really, really, really enjoyed MK11, it was not my favorite Mortal Kombat game to play. So that is where like I am with it. I'm very excited for the story. That's probably the biggest thing that I am excited for is the story itself. See what they do with the characters. I'm also very excited for the DLC. That reveal trailer for the DLC was chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I was excited, like you knew it was coming, kind of, but when the way that they had all the characters, aligned and just
Line
seeing when I seen Eagerly go on Peacemaker's shoulder, I was like, oh, he's gotta be part of like a fatality or something. If he's
Oh yeah.
not, I'm gonna be hurt.
Yeah, they've done well. I think people are really excited for it in such a short time. I mean, again, they're pretty good at doing it. Like they don't need 2 years to get you ready. They can do it in like 4 months, which I respect. I respect that a lot, and I wish every game honestly did that. I think that'd be better. Um, yeah. As soon as this video is done, I'm gonna do this this green video. What's the main thing you hope they improve on Spider-Man 2? I think I'd still say crimes.
Yeah.
Crimes
I,
and I think you should tone down the I guess the amount of things to do. Like you don't need, like Spider-Man had the cats, taking the pictures of the cats, doing the pigeons, doing the backpacks, doing the landmarks, doing the research stations, which I think there's like 15 or 20. Miles has maybe 3 different one of the time capsules with Finn. There's like
mhm.
16 of them. The research station things, there's like 36 of them. If like it feels like it reminded me of Hogwarts Legacy because I forgot Spider-Man had that many. Like you don't need it. You don't need
You
that
don't
many.
need it. And I think that also like what they can improve on is just making both characters equally as fun to play. That is something that I am concerned about. Miles looks very fun to play.
Yeah.
Peter looks very fun to play, but when Peter doesn't, let's say if Peter doesn't have the symbiote, I'm hoping by the end of the game you could just pop it on whenever
Yeah.
you want. But let's say if you can't, when you get so far, what I've seen is that every upgrade that Peter has had suit wise, Miles has it.
Right. He just
So if Miles has all the tech that Peter has plus the powers, what really is enticing somebody to play as Peter other than it being Peter Parker?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was like, even when I noticed that, he had the glide as well. And I was like, I think that that's something that should have been kept to Peter specifically, especially because Peter's the one that normally uses it. So other than that, like just making sure both characters are equally as fun to play. I mean, tighten up the story. That's it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have too many complaints from the first game.
Yeah. Very good. Yuri being Wraith will definitely be a big story detail, kind of like Harvey Dent thing where she falls to the dark side, kind of. I hope so. I like her.
Yeah.
Again, we're like
I like her
replaying
too.
it and seeing her fall. She's a great character in it. Are we excited for Sonic Superstars? A little. That's the one where it's like the collection kind of, but it just comes out at a very bad time.
Exactly.
There's just going to be some games that I'm going to have to, I don't know. I try to play like as much as, but even me, there's like 13, 14 games in October that if they were say one a month, I'd get all 13, right? But because they're all in 1 month, there's just some like this, like, yeah, if they were every month, like one of them's like Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, I think I would get it because I heard so much good about the first game. There's no way I'm going
Same.
to get it though. I mean, why would I get it in October, right? That's insane. So some of them are it's sad. Some of them are
November and December is going to be months to go back and probably catch up on those.
November has its stuff though. November's got Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name. So I circled that. I'm even considering like the Super Mario is it RPG or what's that one's in November. Persona 5 Tactica is one I'm going to be getting. That's in November. Yeah, December is just Avatar. I think December 6th or 7th, and that's it. There's no games in December. So, yeah, December is going to be Black Friday. I mean, like, I guess Black Friday. Like, I'll buy it for Black Friday and then hold it until December. Yeah. And then we should start hearing about, I think it's a little too soon, but, we're always ones to talk about the future. You think of 2024 Sway, and like, there's a lot of games that are early 2024. So either they're going to get delayed or they're going to start getting dates. Final Fantasy, a lot of these games, like it could be a pretty big January, February if these games actually fall in.
There's that rumor of the Capcom game.
Yep. So maybe some sort of Monster Hunter games that were delayed from this year. So like, where's Stellar Blade? That's probably delayed. So maybe
Suicide
Killer
Squad?
Clowns from Outer Space, Transformers Reactivate. I mean, just go down the list, right? There's a lot. Next year should be probably not as big, but pretty close. Like we should get 2 huge years back to back, especially if GTA 6 is like next fall. That would be Dragon Age. Remember Dragon Age? Well, Dragon Age I don't think can come out before like April, but Dragon Age technically could come out like next summer if it wanted to. So there's a lot. There's a lot for next year. I mean, we got to get through this year, but which is hard now. For Spider-Man 2, I'm hoping they add more physics to the web swing. That's a good one.
That is
less hand-holdy, and also maybe add some momentum into the swing. They do a much better job at momentum than they've done in some of the past games. I know some like indie creators have done some really cool web stuff. So yeah, I think that's a good one. That's a good one. Cinemarks are going to be showing the last 2 Harry Potter films in theaters. Oh, that's cool.
I did see that.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Same Sway. Hope they save him for a post-credits DLC scene. Oh, Green Goblin, I assume he means. After all we've seen, who do you truly believe will be Venom? What do you think? I'll say Harry. I think Harry.
Harry is the only logical explanation. Other than that, I did throw around the theory that it could be not Norman Osborn, Kurt Connors. I did throw around the theory that, but that's because it was a flashback that I believe it to be a flashback. But if it is current day, the reason why I said it might be because I don't know if that's Kurt Connors one in that flashback. It just looks like it. He has 2 hands there.
Right.
His goal with the lizard serum is to grow his arm back. That's the reason why he's there. So if he's growing it back and he has it, but he can't reverse the effects of the serum, he might look to the symbiote to try to reverse it since it cures sicknesses. So maybe he wants to see if it can cure the genetic mutation that he has done to himself. And maybe that's why this Venom is so gigantic and big and bulky. And that's the only reason why I thought that Kraven might get the suit, because of the size. And I'm like, if it's not Eddie Brock, then you need somebody reasonably. I don't think that you're going to see a Venom lizard, like a lizard Venom, if that's the case. No, but I just think that he's going to be if that theory is a thing, he's going to be Venom, but Venom is not going to be a lizard.
Right. There you go.
But I think that's a flashback. I think that's a flashback, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to Miles, how that game was about Miles and his life and him making difficult decisions. Yep. I hope they Kraven stays the main villain throughout the game to the end because he's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I think the odds, honestly, are actually extremely low. Even though he's promoted, I think the odds that he's the full thing, I don't think so, personally. I do think there'll be many more Screams after 7. Many more.
Same.
What do you think of the chances there being a playable Venom? Rather high?
Yeah. Missed opportunity if they don't.
Yeah, I mean through it or DLC or a spin-off like a spin-off game, I think it will happen eventually.
But you can't have him just knocking people out. He's gotta you gotta
yeah, true. That's
yeah.
why then maybe he should get his own game because then you go like prototype kind of thing and you make it M-rated and all that.
Yep.
I'm tired of Spidey. Can we get other heroes? Well, we are. I mean, Black Panther, Iron Man, Captain America. I mean, those are in the same game. 2 Black Panthers. So you could argue that, like, why are you doing 2 Black Panthers? Like one, and you know what I mean.
And then yeah, like it's redundant, but we're gonna see.
But it's whatevs. Wonder Woman. I'm sure there's a Superman. So I mean. And we've talked about it. Like the thing with going too far out, right, is takes so long to make. There's only so many studios in the world, and it costs so much and it's so risky. Who's gonna greenlit? Who's gonna greenlit a Green Arrow game? Let's just keep it all green. Like who's gonna do that? Yep. Really? You know what I mean? It could work easily. A developer could make a good Green Arrow game, but that's very risky because his name is not Batman, right?
Yep. And I will say this though. Speaking of Batman, speaking of Gotham Knights, by some miracle, I did kind of feel like this by when we seen the DLC, and they said if we see DLC, if they get DLC, that that the game was dependent on if it succeeds or not. If they got DLC, and when they start pumping it out a little bit, and they pumped out Heroic Assault, and then they pumped out the second like iteration of like Heroic Assault, I was sitting there, like I'm like they did something. I don't know how much they did, but something was done, and just to see now that succeeded, I'm just like a lot of people show that is different in itself also, because the thing that was jarring to me was it did say back to back top 20 games sold that year.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much it did, but it sold a lot.
Yeah.
So that was just the related news. I was just sitting there thinking about myself. I was like, superheroes. I'm like Gotham Knights.
Yeah. All right, I'll try to rifle through these. We'll get to everybody and then we'll head off. My main problem with Spider-Man Miles was the 2 villains were not that good. They were actually pretty weak. Yeah, I don't think Finn as Tinkerer is a very good villain. Mr. Negative, I think, is pretty good. Doc Ock is, I think, really good. But yeah.
I think Miles Morales was I think that the story that they went for, they were testing the waters to see how his villains would do. So they went for more like a heartfelt story that was more personal to him, and just built the gameplay around it, versus Peter's lends itself more. But that goes into the thing of, the problem that I feel like the general audience will see if they go that route. Miles's villains, comic book wise, are not really all that interesting. So what they do is they end up giving him a lot of Peter's ones to make it. But then the problem with that is now you're just retelling a bunch of old Peter stories with Miles Morales. Right. So now, and that's why I was like, it's kind of, you have to separate them. And I'm hoping by the end of this game, one of them moves. Because I would love to keep getting 2 different games, but with them in the same place, you need room to breathe so you can tell some of these stories and maybe make different iterations of some of his villains.
Yeah, good points. No problem with PlayStation games going to PC. I agree.
Nope.
Yeah, the Ahsoka, Anakin returning. I mean, we all knew. I think we knew.
I mean, but just seeing him in the trailer, for those that don't know, Anakin specifically, I love Darth Vader, but Anakin specifically is my favorite character in all of Star Wars lore. When I seen him back in Return of the Sith clothing, hair and all, chills.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. I'm hoping it's. I guess I hope it's good. Because boy, Star Wars needs it.
Yes, they do.
How have you felt about Crash Team Rumble? You haven't played it.
I haven't played it. I have not played it. I can't even. I have watched Alex play it, but I have not played it.
I haven't played I haven't played in like a week or so, but I will go back for, I think the TNT event maybe is tomorrow. So that's exciting, I guess. And then at the end of the month is Engine, which I'm very excited for him. Another thing in common, Christmas plus hot chocolate. Yeah, you got to. We do it like weekly. Once it gets to like late November through like
Yes.
January, we do like every Saturday. I'll make like 3 mugs. Amelia will have it and stuff, and we'll do that. We all love hot chocolate. Do I think a new Life is Strange game is in development? I want to say yes. My heart says yes. My heart says yes. Do you think Spider-Man 2018 was a bit too easy? Because I'm hoping the next game they up it a bit. I think Miles is actually kind of difficult because his physical attacks don't deal a lot of damage. I think Miles is
Yep.
actually harder to play than Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I
think
think
he
they're
was.
already going that
Yeah.
way. You know.
Yep. That's accurate. Peter's the more durable, stronger one, but Miles has more powers, obviously. So that's kind of that's one detail that I did love that they got correct was just Peter feels like a tank. Miles feels like you got to strategize a little bit more.
Right. Right. Oh, the Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Oh, you didn't like it. Oh man, you're going against the popular opinion. That's dangerous, but I respect that.
I was very excited to watch that movie. I have not seen The Flash yet. But I was very excited to see TNT. Like I had a similar experience with The Flash because I heard something. I don't want to spoil it, but it has something to do with how they learn ninjutsu. That's hurt me off.
Oh, yeah. I was never gonna see it, so that's okay. What's everyone's thoughts on Phantom Liberty? I just was reminded of it yesterday. I sent a tweet out, and I think in December, with me going back, see, like the thing is, because I've played so many old games, I try to pick short old games. Like picking a long 100-hour old game, that's a long, you know what I mean? That's a long, long time. I don't even have that many hours. So I think in December when things calm down, when I go back to do old games for the channel and stuff, I think I'm going to give Cyberpunk a try and then do Phantom Liberty. But I'm totally skipping it in September. But that's a huge one that I forget so often. It's like September 26th. It's huge, like with Starfield even. There's a lot of people pumped for it.
I think with me, with Phantom Liberty specifically, because of where I left off on my PC save, I think that's where I am going to play it. I am going to try it. I'm probably not going to beat it, but I am like halfway through the story. So I'm like, seems like a good place to kind of like play with it. Everything there.
All right. Oh my God. The comments just keep going. All right. I'm going to skip to specific questions until you think we get the GTA 6 trailer this year. I think yes.
Yes. Game Awards.
There you go. Me too. Since Snake Eater is coming to PS5, though a bit far out, have you thought about playing the Metal Gear franchise? Yes. Yep. Rising Revengeance is on my list. I want that physically because I don't own it. I have 4. I have 5. I want to get the PS3 collector's collection of 1 through 3, so I might do that. But yeah, I'm gonna replay probably all the Metal Gear games eventually. Did you do that, Sway? I didn't do it. Did you get any of the themed stuff?
So I'm waiting on Amazon to drop their plates, but I did secure a console just in case, and I secured a controller. I have 2 controllers secured, but yeah, I'm waiting on the plates. If I get the plates when Amazon decides to throw their stock up, then I'll probably cancel the system and just get the plates because I don't need the system. But if it comes down to it, I'm going to do
it. Oh my God. Do you think Mysterio and Sandman make it to Spider-Man 2 or in 3? I'd love to see Sandman. Sandman is one of my personal faves.
Sandman, I think they can do in this game. Mysterio 2. They can go in either one, and it wouldn't seem too crowded. Yeah. Mysterio would make a lot more sense because he can kind of fiddle with a lot of things that's going on in the story.
Yeah. Do I get like I said, I think it might get more. I think Spider-Man 2 might literally get more DLC, but it'll not be in chapters. I think it'll just be like one. Package that turns out to be more than what we got. And I think that's possible. What do you think, WB Montreal? I'm gonna say Teen Titans. Or well, no, sorry. Well, their second game, that's the single player game. I think that could be Superman.
I don't know because
I think it could.
I just found out some news the other day that a few key important people in WV Montreal has left.
You found this out and you didn't tell me?
Patrick, I didn't know, and apparently it is public. Not like Patrick Redding's gone.
He left?
He left.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna write that down so I can do a video on it. Patrick Redding. What about what was her name?
Flora Marty, she's gone.
She left too?
Yep.
Oh, that's I feel like that's not good.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
Where'd you find that out?
Patrick leaving was heartbreaking.
Did you see it on Twitter or was it like an article? What'd you?
I noticed on their Twitters that their accounts are no longer, and it was they're no longer in the Discord either. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, well, I will have to do I'll do a video on that. Oh, great. Well, new blood. But see, I don't think they're necessarily the problem. Like, I wouldn't say Gotham Knights is like, the greatest game. I think if you restart, you don't need to use it as your foundation, right? If you wanted to restart, I wouldn't be all that mad. But I don't know if they're the blame for it.
No, they're not.
So
I think everything good about Gotham Knights, it just from the creative vision that he took with it, that's a big blow.
Well, I hope they land. I don't know. I'm sure they'll pop up somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a Sony or Xbox or Microsoft team will pull them in. All right, let's see if there's any other specifics. I did a video yesterday or 2 days ago I think yesterday on Oblivion. I hope it's true. I think it is true. Hope MK1 doesn't have too many guest characters. Well, get ready because I think it's gonna have a lot of guest characters. Both digital and physical sucks because when your power goes out, well, yeah, but if your power goes out,
then how are you gonna play anything?
You're screwed no matter what.
I would say your internet goes out, then you're.
If your internet goes, then having physical is a good thing to have. All right, think we'll end it there. Oh, I see the revolver. Yeah, I hope so. That would be kind of cool. I think that's something I'd like to play for the Back to the Past channel. Like, let's look back at Red Dead Revolver because that's a game obviously not many people talk about. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Honestly, we had a really good crowd, like right back where we kind of left off. So I don't want to make promises, and I also can't even tell you when the next time. We still want to do it weekly. I don't know. Obviously, today's not Thursday, so like we didn't even do that right. But we hope to be back. We will be back at some point in our lives. And I could just keep saying, would you have anything you want to say?
Thank you guys for showing up. I loved seeing the turnout. I love the questions. I really did miss you guys. I missed you guys so much.
This was a blast.
It was a blast. I missed Alex. I missed talking to Alex, just being able to sit here and chat with you guys about things that we love. And like you never really, like, I knew I missed it, but you never really know how much you miss it until you do it. Yeah. And like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I'm really happy right now. So thank you guys for turning out. I really do appreciate it as always, man. We're gonna figure it out. We're not gonna quit on this one.
Yeah. So like Sway said, we appreciate you guys being here. The weeks are gonna start picking up. There'll be new games to discuss. I'm sure I got to give Sway like a MK1 week or something. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to carry an episode for me. So we'll see how it goes. But we will be back. We do appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.